Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at the Safariland 578 GLS Pro Fit holster. It's designed to be a outside the waistband holster. It is a paddle holster, so it just slides down in between your pants and your underwear so that you have the paddle in between your clothes there. And it has a hook on the inside of the paddle that if you're wearing a belt, that it catches the underside of the belt when you start to draw it out, so the holster doesn't come out all the way with the gun. And this one also has the GLS system, which is the grip locking system from Safariland, so that when you push the gun into the holster, then it will hold the gun in place and you can't just pull it out like you do with a regular holster. So let's take this out of the box and I'll show you what it looks like. The reason that I'm looking at this holster is because South Carolina, after August 15th, will have open carry with a permit. So this holster would be one that would be a possible holster that you could use for open carry. You just tuck your shirt in and it's right there on your waistband, got the gun where you would want it. Looking at a couple of other holsters, and when I get those in, we'll do a review on those and then we'll do a comparison of the other holsters. So this one, like I said, is a paddle holster, and it's designed for my Sig P320. And if you look on the side of the box that the holster comes in, it lists all the guns that this holster will fit. It's a multi-fit holster. You have to adjust it a little bit with a couple of screws to be able to get it to fit your gun exactly. And depending on the gun that you have, like on this one, most of the Sig models that are listed on here, there's a little shim that is included with the holster, that if you've got one of the models that it says it needs a shim for, you have to open the holster up and put that little shim on the inside of the holster, so that when the trigger guard goes down into the holster, it catches and it doesn't have any play on the inside of the holster, so that it could wiggle around in the holster. The GLS holster is designed for more open carry, or you could conceal carry it as long as you had a long enough cover garment to go over the top of it. So the reason that I'm looking at something like this is I want something that has some retention built into it, because the standard inside the waistband holster that I use with my current carry gun doesn't have any type of retention other than just the tightness of the leather to keep it from coming out. The holster that I'm using now is just a standard leather inside the waistband holster. It doesn't have anything that you have to press to be able to get the gun out. You just pull the gun straight out of the holster. So when you put it back in, there's nothing that grabs it to pull it in and out. So it's just a standard leather inside the waistband holster. So with that, you wouldn't want to open carry with anything like that, because if somebody does come up behind you or anything, it would be very easy for somebody to pull the gun out of the holster, since there's nothing holding it in place. So let's pull out the new holster and see how it's going to work. And you got a little bit of a change of scenery today because we're out here in Oklahoma visiting relatives, so we figured we'd give you a little change of scenery from the usual backdrop there at the shooting range. Now, this holster also comes with the paddle here on the back that is designed to go with the holster, but it also comes with an attachment where you can just turn it into a holster that goes through the belt loop. So you can just run your belt through this rather than having it set up as a paddle holster. Now, I would want to have it as the paddle holster because I want to be able to take the holster on and off like I do my inside the waistband holster, so I don't have to worry about taking my belt off when I'm having to take the gun off to be able to go somewhere where you can't go in with a gun. So this holster is made out of a polymer material. Safariland has their own brand of material that they use for it. This one I think is the STX finish, the Safari 7, their proprietary polymer. They're made for specific sizes of guns. The Sig here, this one is the 320 compact. So if you had the regular full-size version, you'd have to get a different number holster for it to fit that gun. And you just have to check the list of guns on the box to see which one would work for your gun. Or you can go to the Safariland website and it goes through all the different holsters and gives you all the different options for the guns and tells you which ones will work with your gun. So I've already put the shim in this holster, and it just goes on the inside right in here, and there's a adjustment screw right here at the back of the holster. That silver screw right there is a little bit deep into the holster right now because I had to adjust it a little bit more to get the fit tight enough on the holster. But once you put your gun in, you adjust that to get it to where there's no wiggle in the gun. So with the shim in place and that screw tightened up, the gun really doesn't move at all. And to be able to get the gun out of the holster, you've got this lever right here. You can see it right below the frame or the grip of the gun. And when you start to get your firing grip, put your hand on, and then as your middle finger presses that lever, then that lets you pull the gun straight up. Be a little bit easier once I get the holster on. But you can hear it clicks in place and grabs the grip. That click right there tells you that the gun is in place and it's not going to go anywhere. So when you assume your firing grip on the gun, it naturally pushes that lever in, and then you can just drag it right back out. So to put this holster on, you just push the paddle down, and then you just slide it inside the waistband of your pants, and then it clicks over the bottom of your belt. Very secure, it's not going to go anywhere. And so once open carry becomes legal, I won't have to have my shirt untucked anymore. But if you wanted to carry this one concealed, it's just a standard outside the waistband holster, and as long as the cover garment is long enough to cover it, then it keeps it fairly tight to the body there, so it's not sticking way out. It's probably a little more noticeable than what the inside the waistband is because it is on the outside of the pants. But you can use this as a concealment holster if you want to. You just have to be careful until we get to open carry that if you were reaching up high for something off of a shelf, that you don't uncover the holster like that. But once open carry becomes legal, then you just have the shirt tucked in. Be a little bit messy looking here, but yeah. So you have the shirt tucked in, guns hanging out there on the side. So now if somebody tries to come and grab the gun, they can't do anything with it, because until you assume that firing grip, you can't pull the gun out. And it's a very secure grip in there. Now, if somebody does come up behind you and is able to get a grip on the gun, then they could defeat the retention system on that. That's why I'm looking at a couple of other holsters, and when I get those in, I'll do the videos on those and show you what the difference is on those, so that it can help you not to have a problem if somebody tries to come up beside you. Because with the new law in South Carolina, you have to go over weapon retention and the different types of holsters. So this one is considered more a level 1 holster. It's just got a basic system that grabs the gun and locks it in place. It doesn't really have the tension like the leather holster does, where the leather holster just has the tightness of the leather to hold the gun in place, and it does a fair job of holding it in place, but once you grab the gun, it comes off pretty easily. So the outside the waistband holster here, the GLS from the 578 GLS from Safariland, has better weapon retention than the standard leather holster like that does. So it gives you one more layer of security to be able to keep the gun in place, and it doesn't take that much more to be able to draw the gun out. So when you're standing at the side and you're looking at the holster and you start to assume your grip, you're grabbing it and you can pull the gun out very quickly. It doesn't take that much more time, because as you're assuming your grip, you're pressing that lever on the holster, and you can go straight into the draw from the pressing the lever. So you're up here, you're getting your draw, and then you're pressing out. So you can keep your normal draw just by adding just that one little extra step of pushing in that lever with your middle finger on your shooting hand, and it's not going to add a whole lot of time once you practice with the holster. As with any new accessory or anything that you use with your guns, then you always want to practice with that accessory. So if you've got a new holster and it's got some different type of retention system that you have not used before, then make sure you practice a lot with that holster before you start using it, because you may forget what that holster is supposed to do when you start to draw it out, and you don't want to be right in the middle of a situation and forget that, oh yeah, I've got to press that lever on the holster to be able to get my gun out. And you just don't want to be trying to pull it out, because no matter how hard you pull, that gun's not going to come out. You've got to press that lever to be able to get it out. So the Safariland 578 GLS Pro Fit is a very nice holster. It's well built, and I'm very pleased with it so far. I'm going to wear it around a little bit and see how it does, and if there's any changes in my opinion of the holster, then I'll update the video later. But as for right now, I'm well pleased with it. The ride height of the gun is not much different than what it was with the inside the waistband holster. So I'm not going to be getting poked any more than I used to with the inside the waistband holster. Matter of fact, it probably won't poke as much because it is outside the waistband, and everything will move around past it a little bit easier than it does with the inside the waistband, because typically outside the waistband is a more comfortable way to carry. But you have to have, if you're in a state where you can only do concealed carry and you don't have open carry available, then you have to have a long enough cover garment that is going to cover that gun completely and not come up and show everything that you're trying to hide on the gun. So check out doubleeaglegunworks.com for more information, and like and subscribe down at the bottom. We'll talk to you later. Thanks.